Hello everyone, Adam here. So E3 has been on everyone's minds in the most negative way possible. E3 is supposed to come back in full live action in this year, but unfortunately a lot of people are skipping out on the big presentation. For context, the last live event was in 2019. They tried to do a digital event, I believe in 2021 during the pandemic. I don't really remember. I was part of it and it was a complete disaster. Like it was so difficult to get interviews and talk to people. It was just it was not great. So they decided to cancel the event moving forward. They've been having trouble to try and secure partners in order to revitalize the event, and they've been toting that E3 is back and better than ever, but all the companies that usually are there backed out. Nintendo and Sony were the first people to back out years before this happened. Then Microsoft, and then recently it was Ubisoft who pulled as well. Whether Ubisoft pulled for financial reasons or not, regardless, it's far cheaper to do your own digital presentation than to have to pay for an exhibit booth at E3 because you still have to pay for these booths. So now there are rumors that Sega and even more publishers are getting out. So this is from IGN. Concern over E3 2023 is continuing to grow, prompting more publishers to drop out behind Nintendo, Xbox, Sony, and Ubisoft. IGN has learned that Sega and Tencent will be skipping E3 2023 among rumors that the promised triumphant return of gaming's biggest event may not happen after all. There are rumors that the event will be cancelled due to lack of participation. IGN reporters have spoken with numerous individuals in publishing and PR who typically have knowledge of event strategies, all of whom expressed concern about the status of this event. Many of us told us that they haven't heard anyone else who are planning to attend for sure, and some they felt there had been significant lack of communication from the ESA and organizer ReedPop as to exactly what they should expect from the show. Several described the situation as one where everyone was waiting for someone to be the first to jump, but no one's willing to take that leap, and time is running out. As one knowledgeable source put it ahead of Monday's news of Ubisoft's departure from the show, there's no possible way the show can happen. Neither the ESA nor ReedPop responded to IGN for comment. So yeah, this is just more speaking about who's in and who's out. And Jason Schreier, who reported that in my previous video, GDC, when he was at GDC, none of the people at GDC even knew if their companies were going to be at the event. And here is a note take. Been hearing secondhand whispers that tonight several devs and pubs E3 is cancelled. Although I've heard some of a couple of people in the positions to know that ESA hasn't officially made the decision yet, is still consulting with pubs. Either way, it's only a matter of time. So Devolver Digital is also not going to be there. So they confirmed it recently on the 28th. No Devolver E3 parking lot this year, but we'll have some fresh new Devolver Digital presentation during Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest is Jeff Keighley's event. He was one of the big presenters who was at E3 during its ground floor, but eventually has come to do his own thing, not only with the Game Awards and helping out with the New York Game Awards, in which I am a member of the council. He also started the Summer Game Fest, which is a big online event where he hosts a vast array of presentations from big and small publishers. And again, it's a lot cheaper than it is for E3 because it's all digital, and it just seems that E3 right now is one step in the grave. As I stated in my last video, I don't want this to happen because I've met a lot of colleagues through E3. I've made a lot of good relationships through this. Like the in-person interaction, you can't beat that. Yeah, people say online is the future, and yes, it is. But people like myself who require, even influencers who do YouTube and Twitch, I do that too. But I also do game journalism. That one-on-one conversation it's worth a lot more than you might think. If it wasn't for those one-on-one conversations, I would have never made the connections I did from Capcom, 505 Games, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. A lot of these people I made connections through one-on-one connections because I would talk to them. I would come and say, hey, my name is this, here's my business card, I'm doing this and this, is there any chance? And most of the time they would say, hey, we do have an opening. One time at Nintendo, there were no openings, and then the person contacted me through my business information. They were like, hey, we do have an opening. One of our clients canceled. Would you like the spot? And I was like, yeah, of course. I would love it. And you don't get that with online situations. You get that with one-on-one. And I get online's the future, but I don't know. I feel really disappointed that E3 is not going to happen. It just looks like the writing on the wall. You can't really ignore it at this point. Like with so many publishers backing out, you don't have the big ones, the big console manufacturers there like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. So all you have is the third party, and the third party you're pulling out. So now what do you have left? It's a real shame because maybe E3 could have seen a resurgence if they listened to Jeff Keighley and listened to the outcries instead of trying to just do the same thing over and over. Because as someone, I've only attended E3 about twice, but they kind of stuck to the same formula and it just didn't really pan out because, you know, a lot of people don't watch like big news outlets anymore as they used to. They usually watch their favorite YouTubers because they feel like they have a more profound interaction instead of having to adhere to certain corporate jargon, which I can fully understand. But at the same time, like you could have like taken those systems and try and implement it like Jeff Keighley's doing with Summer Game Fest. Either way, we'll see how E3 turns out, but it does seem like the writing's on the wall for E3. While I'm sad to see it go, I am happy with the fact that I did get to attend the event before it went belly up, if it does. Either way, tell me what you think in the comments below. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. This is Adam, signing out.